I see diversity as a strength. And so being a woman, sometimes in an industry that has a lot of men, for me is a plus because I bring things to the table that the others don't bring. And so I see diversity as a good thing. Yeah. And so when people ask me what challenge have you experienced as a woman, I say none.
Hai ladies, apa kabar? Selamat datang di podcast Top Woman Talk. Kita selalu menghadirkan kisah-kisah inspirasi tentang cerita woman leadership, kepemimpinan perempuan, keinginan perempuan untuk terus menyemangati perempuan-perempuan lain di luar sana untuk bisa berkarir setara dengan pria. Dan hari ini saya berkesempatan untuk bisa berbincang dengan tokoh yang luar biasa yang akan kita ambil insight-nya, khususnya perempuan di energi. Jarang loh ada perempuan yang bekerja di sektor energi karena memang masih kecil sekali skupnya, tapi apakah bisa berkembang khususnya di Indonesia? Dan saya akan memperkenalkan untuk Anda one of the great women in the world and has a career in Indonesia is a Carole Gall, President ExxonMobil Indonesia. Hi Carole, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having us here. Thank you for your time. So, Carole, our podcast highlights the success story, especially of women in their industry. So, all the women having a career is common. In Indonesia, is common too. But in Indonesia cultures, women must still carry out their functions, like as a wife, as a mothers. So, it's okay if you have a career, but the house must be still taken care of. No, I met you right now, so I just can say, wow, you are seeing the women in the energy sectors, even leading a big companies. Wow, it's so good to see you here. So, is it working at the energy company is a part of your dream? Maybe you have a lot of dream and this is just a little part of your dreams.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I think I grew up loving math, physics, and nature. And because I love math and physics, I became an engineer. And I worked into the oil and gas industry by chance. I didn't know anything about the oil and gas industry. Nobody in my family works in oil and gas.
Okay.
But I found the world completely fascinating. You know, it combines engineering and geology, nature. And for me, it's like putting my two passions into one job. And so I joined the industry by chance. I loved it. I've been in the industry now for 30 years. And to this day...
30 years?
30 years. And to this day, I still love it. So that's my career journey. But yeah, by chance.
Okay. Can you share a little bit your career journey in the details? Until 30 years, until right now, you will be a president ExxonMobil Indonesia.
So, well, I'll say, first of all, I'm French, which is unusual for the oil and gas industry because we don't have a lot of oil and gas in France. But I studied in the UK and then I joined ExxonMobil as an engineer. And then ExxonMobil gave me a lot of opportunities to learn new things throughout my career. And so I took on more responsibilities, supervisory, managerial. I had the chance to try different types of job, not just engineering, but commercial, strategy. And then the roles grew bigger and bigger and bigger. And I got the chance to travel around the world, which is something that I absolutely love in this job. I'm obviously in Indonesia. I've been in beautiful Indonesia for 3 years now. But before that, I was in Africa for 3 years.
Okay.
I worked in Europe. I worked in America.
Wow.
And so I've had all of these experiences, learning new things. And so that's what led me to being the president, because I have this desire to learn. For me, every assignment within ExxonMobil, every job is an opportunity to learn something new, see new things. And I took on more responsibilities throughout the years. That's what led me to Indonesia as president.
Okay. Well, as you said, that ExxonMobil Indonesia is not your first country to. Previously, you also work in another country that you stayed before. Can you tell us or share with us about your experience working in Indonesia? Is it quite challenging or more enjoyable working here? To deal with Indonesian peoples, how do you see as Indonesian peoples to working in the energy sector?
Indonesia is one of the most beautiful countries that I've ever seen, and I've seen many different countries around the world. It has people who are so friendly, welcoming. The culture is absolutely fascinating. There are so many parts to Indonesia. They're all beautiful and all different, and so it's a pleasure being here. The culture here is not the same as what I've experienced in other countries. You know, Africa is a little bit more direct in style. And so every time I move to a new country, I try to learn how things are being done. And I try to adjust such that my style coincides a little bit better with the style that I'm in country. But I mean, Indonesia is such a beautiful place, rich in cultures, rich in beautiful sights. I've had the chance to travel a lot for leisure. Papua, Sulawesi, Kalimantan. I've seen so many beautiful sights in Indonesia. It's a pleasure being here. And the workforce here, the people I'm working with, they're extremely talented, hardworking. They take great pride in what they do. It's really a privilege working here.
Oh, thank you, and thank you, Carole. So, as a woman in the energy industry, which is the mostly male dominate, so what has been the biggest challenge for you to deal with the stereotype or the male dominates in the energy sector?
So I see diversity as a strength. And so being a woman, sometimes in an industry that has a lot of men, for me is a plus, because I bring things to the table that the others don't bring. And so I see diversity as a good thing. And so when people ask me, what challenge have you experienced as a woman? I say none, because essentially I see that as a positive. And when you bring different people working together on solutions, you really need people with diverse background, because you'll have better solutions. And so I've had quite a few stories of being the only woman in the room. And I will say every time I stood out, people remember me because I was different. People were very thoughtful and careful with how they handled me, because they wanted to make sure that I wasn't uncomfortable. And so I tend to see the positive of diversity and not seeing that as something that's holding us back. The biggest challenge that I've heard about is about prioritization. And I think you touched on it earlier. How do you juggle family priorities and work and career? For me, it's really important to make time for what makes you happy. And so in my case, I love sports. I do need to exercise.
What sport you like?
That's what I need to be happy. And so when I prioritize my schedule, I find time first to be happy. So I find time to do my sport, and then work is scheduled around it. And so my advice to those who feel they have conflicting priorities, whether it's family, work, sports, work, is to prioritize what makes you happy first. And then work goes around it. But don't start focusing on work and trying to squeeze in the things that make you happy. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when you're a happy person, when you feel good in your personal life, doing the things that make you happy, typically you're a much more effective person at work. And so I have that belief that you need to make time for what makes you happy first, and work comes second.
Oh, if you choose to be a career woman, you should be put your job is your happy place, make yourself more happy then,
or use your personal life to drive happiness, and then everything at work will be easier. And so if, for instance, family makes you happy, if you want to see your kids at night, just make time to see your kids at night. And then at work, you will be a happier person because you will feel that you're doing a really good job with your family.
Yeah. It's so touchy. It's so touchy when I hear you say it like that. Back again to the energy sector with the male dominate. In your opinion, can women and men will be equal in this industry, especially energy industry? If you say yes, we can be equal, same position, same experience, maybe. What should women prepare to have a same opportunity to work in this industry?
So I say we have room for everybody. In the energy industry, we have so many opportunities, challenges as well, but so many opportunities that we cannot pick, one type of population to the detriment of another part of the population. We need the brightest minds to work on the opportunities that the energy sector has. And those brightest minds may be men, they may be women. It doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter. We just need the best talent. And so I don't typically, when I look at hiring people, when I look at developing people in the organization, I don't look at gender. I look at who's best for the job. And if it's a woman, then it's a woman. If it's a man, it's a man. But
you don't care about the gender.
I don't care. For
you
me,
just choose the best one.
Yeah. I mean, for me, people are human beings.
Yeah.
But what I do notice here in Indonesia, there's formidable women talent. I mean, when I think about the employees in ExxonMobil, I see a lot of great women leaders emerging. And so it makes me energized, and I think it's good. And I'll come back to the point of diversity. I think what we really need is a mix of people, different genders, different cultures. And when we bring these people together on solutions and opportunities, we have the best outcomes. And so the one solution that doesn't work for me is when everybody looks the same in one room. Because when that's the case, you won't have different perspectives. Some people are more caring. Some people are more structured in their thinking. You really need to bring a wide range of people such that you have the best possible solutions.
Okay. If we see deeply from your experience, what are the biggest barriers stopping a more moment to pursuing career in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics?
I wish I knew that, because if I knew, I would do my best to fix it. I think, even if I reflect on my family, I have 8 nephews and nieces. Only one of the 8 chose to become an engineer. And so I feel I failed in my mission to say how great engineering is. But we do need more men and women interested in what we call STEM, which is science, technology, math, essentially, the core discipline that we need in the energy industry. we need more women and men to get into the industry. And why are we not getting all of these bright students? I'm not sure. I think what it will take is passionate teachers. Teachers need to make math, physics interesting, relevant, fun. That may get more students interested in those careers where math and physics are important. And then perhaps we as industry leaders need to do a better job at explaining how great the opportunities are. I mean, the jobs we have are amazing. We make decisions that impact not just ourselves, but the communities around us, the nation. In my job, I get to work with ministers a lot. And so when you reflect on our industry, we make nations better. We make countries better. And so I think we probably need to do a better job at showing that level of excitement.
Yeah. I hope after they listen what you say, they can open the opportunity to work with this industry.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Okay. So what concerns steps has ExxonMobil Indonesia taken to support women empowerment?
We have a program that I'm really proud of, which is a global program. It's a Global Women in Management program. And as part of that, we select women entrepreneurs in Indonesia or in other countries around the world. And we train them on skills to manage a business. And we bring them to the US, Washington, D.C., for them to learn skills on how to run the business, how to do a budget, how to put together a strategy for their business. We have quite a few graduates from this program here in Indonesia. These are the types of programs that I think really make a difference because we give women entrepreneurs the tools to become successful leaders. And so that's one of the programs that we have. And I'm so proud of it because I've met some of the graduates from the program and I think they're amazing leaders. And the fact that we invested in their skills now is impacting not just their business, but the community around them. Then their employees that they're hiring, the products that they sell, I mean, all of that has a multiplier effect.
Okay. I have a little bit case. Many women who are very good in their careers before, but have to stop their careers because the company thinks that when a woman is married, have a kids, she's not will focus on work anymore. It's not 100% anymore. So what do you think about this?
I'm back to it's really important to have diversity in the workforce. And so we need to attract the best talent because we have amazing opportunities in the energy industry. And to attract the best talent, we need to be able to retain women in the workforce. And so with the type of programs that you talked about, which is not a program that we would adopt in ExxonMobil. In ExxonMobil, we do have programs for women to take breaks as needed. These programs may have the impact of not attracting women. And so I think a company like ExxonMobil is doing its utmost to have the most competitive and attractive programs for women, for men as well, such that we attract the best talent. And so I think the type of program you describe would have an impact of keeping women away from seeking a job. And so that may not be the best thing for those companies.
Oh, okay. Great. So what kind of company policies do you think can help help a women become leaders in this industry?
I think inclusion and diversity policies are absolutely critical.
Back again. Okay.
Back to that, I sound like a broken record, but this is so important to have programs that make everybody feel comfortable in the workplace, regardless of their gender, their ethnicity, their religion, I think diversity is a good thing. And so a company like ExxonMobil embracing diversity is a must to be successful, in my opinion. Also, flexibility programs are important because, as you mentioned, every now and then there are times in our careers where we may need a break, maybe focus on family, maybe have kids. Having strong programs to support that is important because this is part of life. And so these are the two things that are important. As far as, women becoming leaders, I think women have tremendous talent and they just need to exercise those talents and show how good they are without necessarily thinking that gender is holding them back. And I want to say it again. I think being different is a positive. It's not something that should get us concerned. It's something that we need to leverage as a strength. If I'm different because I'm a woman or because I'm French, then how that difference bring me an advantage? And so the fact that I'm French, I would like to think that I speak several languages, that I'm more culturally aware than some. For me, that's a plus.
Okay.
Being a woman, sometimes in a room full of men, well, I stand out. People remember my name. People are more careful about how they treat me because they want to make sure I don't feel uncomfortable. For me, that's a plus as well. And so you can't see diversity as something that's a negative. At least that's my view.
Okay, Carole. Looking ahead, 5 until 10 years from now, how do you see the role of women evolving in the energy and STEMs industry globally, especially in Indonesia? Maybe your insight.
I think we need talent in the energy industry. And if you look at gender split, I think in Indonesia and around the world, it's about 50-50, roughly. And so I cannot leave behind 50% of the talent by having, just men in the workforce. And so given the exciting opportunities we have ahead in the energy industry, we really need everybody to contribute. And so for that reason, the 50% of the population that's women, we need to tap into that.
Okay.
I do see an increasing role of women in the energy industry because I do think that's the gender split that we have today is somewhat tied to generations and cultures. And I'll take an example. When I joined the oil and gas industry 30 years ago, I was definitely the only woman in the building. Now, 30 years on, I see a lot of women in this building. And so I think women are becoming more comfortable with taking leadership roles, combining a happy work life and a happy personal life. And so I do expect that through time, through generations, we'll be able to attract even more women than we've been able to do in the past. And we must have that because, again, we have fantastic opportunities and we do need everybody to contribute.
Everybody, every gender.
Every gender. Yeah.
Okay.
Diversity is a good thing.
Yeah, that's the point. Diversity is a good thing. If we look a little bit your childhood, how did your family shape on you that you can be like Carole now?
Well, my family was really strong on education. And so they believed that I needed to be good at school such that I could get a good job. And in their opinion, I think, or in their view, a good job was a job that would make me happy. So they didn't push me in one industry or one career path. In fact, I have 3 siblings and we're all doing very different things. And so our parents let us choose what was best for us. But education had a central role. And that's what led me to put a lot of effort in school, then get a degree, and then get a job. And so I think they created the foundation to my career. Beside that, the most important thing is they taught me the right values. I was taught very early on that hard work is important, integrity is important, courage of conviction. So in my family, when we need to say something, when we have an opinion, we need to speak. And so that's one of the family values. And care. I think we're very caring and respectful. So all of that came from way back then in northern France. But still ingrained today
until now
in who I am. Yeah.
Wow. So Carole, maybe it's gonna be my last questions. Is there a message you would like to convey to Indonesia women in the energy sectors in particular, or those who are currently right now pursuing their careers to make their life better or have a good life next? You have a confidence.
So I will say that we have very exciting opportunities in the industry. The energy industry has never been more exciting, in my opinion, because we get to work not just on providing affordable energy to society, but we also support the energy transition. And so the careers ahead for those who are interested in the oil and gas industry are very, very exciting, in my opinion. And so for the younger listeners who are still trying to debate what sort of career they want to have, I would strongly encourage them to join the oil and gas industry. Very, very exciting. And then for those who are already in their career, and if you're asking me what sort of advice I would have to those ladies, I would say a successful career is happiness. It's not a job title. It's not a status. At the end of the day, we can only say, look, my career has been successful because I've been happy. And so I think many people are driven by status and job title. I think the motivation should be more towards happiness, and that means combining successfully a personal life and a work life. They need to go hand in hand.
I noted a balancing in your work and your family. Diversity is a good thing. That's a message from you. Thank you so much, Carole, for your time to having us here. Thank you to hear your insight, to see your point of view about the empowerment, woman empowerment in the energy sectors. Keep inspiring, keep shining. Success and success always for you. Thank you so much.
Terima kasih. Thank you, my pleasure.
Terima kasih. Dan demikianlah perbincangan kami bersama dengan Carole Gall, Presiden ExxonMobil Indonesia. Dan terus saksikan Top Woman Talk dengan tokoh-tokoh inspiratif lainnya, tokoh-tokoh perempuan yang akan memberikan banyak impact yang luar biasa untuk perempuan-perempuan Indonesia. Terima kasih and bye. Just bye.